Hi everyone, I am here with another story. It is by Sheila Joy Hutcherson, and it is called Next to My Heart. I needed something so I could feel at peace with my friend's death. And it's a picture of a woman holding a sparrow. So let's read it. Seems very sad. Let's read it and see. This book I got here is all about animals. My dear friend Kathy loved animals, and I loved Kathy. So when I gave the eulogy at her funeral on that gray December day, that's pretty much what I said. Kathy loved just about every living thing that I kept on my small Mississippi farm. Even my sometimes ornery donkey, Honky. Kathy would talk to the pigs, cows, and cats as if they were her neighbors. And she was just crazy about birds, all kinds of birds. She would clap her hands to make the turkeys gobble, and she'd laugh every time she did it. She'd tiptoe up to the robin perched on a fence, post just to get a better look at her face aglow with childlike awe at one of God's simple wonders. I say childlike for a reason. Though Kathy was in her 50s, she was developmentally disabled and had the mental age of an 8-year-old. But what she lacked intellectually, she made up for spiritually. She loved the world so much because she loved her Maker so fully. She would lay her head against a spot on the left side of my chest, right over my heart, and rest it there even so gently, just long enough for me to feel a peacefulness flow into me. And that's how I ended my eulogy that cold December day, with my hand on that spot. I kept it there for as long as I could, before I had to wipe away the tears. Kathy had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer just that fall. It couldn't be treated, the doctors told us. By Christmas time, Kathy was so weak that she could scarcely get out of bed. I went over to her sister's house where she was staying and played Christmas carols on my guitar with her, her sweet trembling voice singing that beautiful, hopeful refrain, "Sleep in heavenly peace." 2 days later, she was gone. After the funeral, winter settled in. It would be longer and colder without Kathy. I trudged through my chores on the farm. Even the animals seemed to miss her. Lord, I prayed, I want to know beyond any shadow of a doubt that Kathy is with you. Kathy is in heaven, I told myself. She's at peace. But was I? Could I accept that Kathy had gone to be with the Lord in a better place? One bitterly cold January morning, I was about to go into town to run some errands with my mother. I was on my way out the door to join her in the truck when I was startled by a small bird sitting on the floor of our glass-in front porch, a sparrow. How it had gotten there, I honestly couldn't tell you. The porch doors were closed tight to keep out the winter wind. I bent down and put out my hand. The bird hopped onto my palm, a soft little bundle of warmth. Not trembling, not hurt, not sick. "Let me take you outside so that you'll be free," I said. I cupped it gently, went outside and opened my hands. The sparrow stayed put. "What you got there?" Mom called from the truck. "A bird. I just found it on the porch," I said. "That's odd," she said. "Let me see." So I carried it over to her and held it out. Mom gently stroked its head. "Put your hand out flat," I whispered. The little bird climbed right into my mother's palm. We stayed like that for a spell. Then I took the sparrow back. "Fly away now, little bird," I said. But it did the strangest thing. It flew into the cab of the truck, resting on the floorboards at Mom's feet. I picked it up again and lofted it into the air. The bird fluttered, suspended briefly above my head. I thought it was going to shoot away, but instead it came down and landed on the left side of my chest, next to my heart, like Kathy always did. The place where Kathy always rested her head and said she loved me. I was in awe. The sparrow stayed there for just a moment, but it was long enough for me to feel the familiar infusion of peace. With that, the sparrow took flight, hovering for one final instant before disappearing among the trees. Now that should give her a sign. That should have made her known. That's just not a coincidence. That was God giving her a sign. That was definitely a sign from Kathy. Birds just don't do that. That was definitely a sign. That's amazing.